Hey, what's up, everyone? Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound, ready to kind of highlight another coin here. And this is probably one of the more unique pennies that you could find out in pocket change today for a number of reasons. And you're going to see by the time we get through this entire video, you're going to be shaking your head like, what in the world did I just witness? There is a lot of stuff to find for this kind of I'm not going to say 1 year type, but only one mint produced the 1966 Lincoln penny. That in itself is pretty interesting. Okay, so there were a number of dates in the 60s in which the Philadelphia Mint was the only producing mint of coins. Okay, we got 1965, we got 66, that's your profile coin in this video, 67. So there's a trio of dates that certainly make it really interesting. There's no Denver minted coins, nothing from San Francisco, although there are proof coins or actually SMS or special mint set coins for each one of these three dates that were also produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Although we're not going to discuss those because they are made specifically for the collector market. All right, so those were coins that were purchased directly from the mint. All right, so like I do on every other video, we're going to talk about the business strike coin, which in this case, it's the 66 Philadelphia. We're going to talk about mintage, okay? A lot of people like to know about grades, okay? How much does a high-graded 1966 Lincoln penny sell for? Oh my gosh, a lot of money, okay? We're going to talk about that too. In addition, there are two notable die varieties that you need to know about. And I could honestly say, okay, this is a pair of die varieties that generally go overlooked, if not searched. So we're going to take a look at those. They're actually more valuable than they appear. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and round it off with a number of really interesting error coins that you need to know about as well. Okay, these could come across your change or searching through bankrolls at any given time. So, yeah, should be an interesting video. So if this is your first time here, welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you like coins, coin collecting, and collecting money in general. Make sure you hit the like button and feel free to share it. Okay, it's a lot of fun and it's very educational. You never know when the next meal ticket will come around. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start off with the business strike type of coin. Okay, so the 66 Philadelphia is devoid of any sort of physical P mint mark. Okay, which normally this day and age you do see a P mint mark on a lot of coins that were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. For this particular date, along with the 65 and 67, there's no mint mark to be found anywhere. Okay, not even under the date right here. So the coin has had a myriad of issues when it came to quality control back in 66, which made this coin a very challenging coin to find in a high mint state red, fully lustrous, fully struck, with not a lot of problems. Okay, the planchets were not of great quality during this time in U.S. coinage. So finding one that is what you and I would be kind of perfect, whereas to the graders, they would have to be absolutely knockout. Now, for 66, there was no shortage of these coins produced. 2,188,147,783 total pieces were minted. All right, I could speak for probably not only myself, but for some of you, I have come across a ton of these, even on the West Coast. I'm here in California. I still come across 1966 Lincoln pennies left and right. Okay, these things circulated well during its time. So what else do you need to know about this coin? Well, how about grade? All right, everybody loves to grade coins, okay, whether it's just to keep it as a souvenir or maybe it's been passed down to you from a loved one at some point. You just want to preserve it. Okay, and then there's also the group of people that want to hit it big. All right, so being able to achieve the highest possible grade of any date of coin, whether it's 1966, 1866, or 2020. All right, these coins are worth a lot of money if you're able to pull in the what they call top pop grade, top population, highest, finest known. So the coin that you see here is graded by a company called PCGS. Okay, they are one of the top tier authenticators of coins. They also assign grade values based wholly on the actual condition of the coin. Now, this is a PCGS Mint State 67 red. This is the top grade for this particular date. Now, it's also worth mentioning just how difficult it is to achieve a 67. Only 14 were ever graded by PCGS as a Mint State 67 red. Very challenging. So, with this kind of high grade, how much can you expect to get for a coin like this? Well, I can tell you right now what the highest sale is of a 67, and it is $6,463. This was actually a sale on Heritage Auctions back September 6th of 2012. Now, there have been a number of other examples that have sold since then, okay? Think of it as supply and demand, all right? So, let's say when this one sold for $6,400, okay, let's say there's only one or two at that grade level. Well, what happens when there's a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 14 of them in this case? All right, the prices begin to diminish. Now, where you're really going to hit it big is, let's say you were able to find one that was extraordinary. Okay, you send it off to PCGS and it comes back Mint State 67 plus, which is essentially a half a grade point higher than the other 14 top graded coins. Then you probably have a coin that is worth $5,000 to $7,000 really easily. And just to let you guys know, the people that buy these type of coins are registry set participants. PCGS and NGC actually host what they call a registry set. What you do is you accumulate the finest graded coins, you assemble a set, it's a points scaled system, so the highest point value, essentially you win awards, you win free grading submissions, upgrades, things of that nature. It's more so for bragging rights, but you would be surprised how much of an effect it has on the overall market value for even some of the newest coins from the last 20 years. It's simply incredible. Now, another thing that you're going to pay attention on, so let's say you're not into the whole grading thing. You want to find something really cool and interesting. Varieties and errors. Okay, this is where it's at for a lot of people that just want to find something neat. Okay, something very valuable out of the box where they don't have to grade it. Okay, that's fine. I'm that type of person. So we have two well-known cherry pickers guide varieties that I wanted to share with you today in this video. Again, these are two varieties that probably not a lot of people look for. One of them is really tough to find, especially in lower grades. And the other one, people just don't really look for them. That's the problem. The less of them that are out there, the more valuable these are going to be. But not anymore. Let's see if we can find some more of these. So, as I tell folks, usually with varieties and errors, okay, it really helps to have good equipment. Specifically, a magnifier. You would need something 8 to 10 times power to be able to identify some of these rare die varieties. Okay, if you need some, go ahead and open up the links below my video in that description box. There are a few for your consideration, and they're relatively affordable. So the first one that we have here is the doubled die Obverse. Okay, the Obverse is the front of the coin with the portrait of Abraham Lincoln. This is referred to as the FS101 in the Cherry Picker's Guide, okay, published by Whitman Publishing. And it's real simple. Okay, so this one right here, this is a tough one to find, especially in lower grades. But the double die Obverse, you're going to notice a few things. Okay, the date is your main point of reference for this particular doubled die. You're going to notice a lot of lots of elongation of the devices. Okay, on certain earlier die state coins, you're also going to have notching here on the inner curl of the 6. The 9 is completely, you can see the widespread, just the stretching of this device here. And then the number 1, okay, it's fatter up top and a little bit skinnier at the bottom, and then you have this kind of like a little pitch right here at the bottom of the one. Okay, they're not all like that, especially the non-doubled dies. They'll be squared away at the bottom. So that's one of the things you'll want to look for on this particular date right here. Now, you'll also have some doubling in the motto, "In God We Trust." Okay, more so on the word trust. You're going to see some of the fattening of some of these letters here. And where you have the curve, it's going to be skinnier, and then the straights are going to be very, very fat. So make sure you take a look at this too. I would focus more on the date. That's where it's really at on this particular variety. But if you're able to find one that's like an extremely fine to about uncirculated condition coin, that's a coin in itself raw. If you're able to take great pictures, that sell for about $50 to $100 on eBay. Okay, it's like really easy money, and it's a great variety to own. These are extremely tough to find. They're very rare. So the other die variety that I wanted to also address, now this one's really cool. This one is a lot stronger than it actually looks. But this one here is the double to die reverse FS801 in the Cherry Picker's Guide. And, you know, this is a nice kind of circulated coin here. This would probably be right around a mid-state 61 brown-ish color. I mean, it's certainly changed hands a number of times. But upon closer examination, your main feature point is going to be 1 cent on the reverse. So take a look at the split lines right here, okay? It is very strong, even on a coin of this condition, in spite of a few nicks and little dings here and there. Look at the one, you'll have the doubled serif here, you have the split, and then all the way across to the T of cent. This is a very strong variety. Again, it helps if you have a nice magnifier. You can't really see this with the naked eye. Like the previous coin, the FS101 double to die Obverse, this is a coin right here that sells in that $50 to $100 range. The coin that you see before you is worth about $200 based off of the actual condition of this coin. So those are two extremely fun looking varieties to try and gun for. Again, it's on a 1966 Lincoln cent. It's very overlooked these days, but don't overlook them anymore. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into some errors. I got actually 7 of them for you, and they're all pretty crazy, one of which I can't really explain because I've never seen an error quite like that. So the first one that we have here is the 66. This one is struck on a split blank, okay? So before the planchet was inserted into the striking chamber of that mid-press, the planchet had split right down the middle in half. It clamshelled and it fell off, so the coin is a lot thinner than it usually is, okay? Check out the weight, 1.18 grams, whereas a full regular penny is 3.11. So it's like a third of the weight. It's crazy. But you'll see the striations, they, you know, that kind of look like a lamination on one side, and then on the reverse you have a lot of weakening on the reverse because the coin is just so much thinner on here. So this one right here is an Annex Mint State 60 Brown. It's sold for $65 on Heritage Auctions. April of 2020, this is a recent sale. Now keep in mind, every single error is courtesy of Heritage Auctions, so all the photo credits go to them. All right, so, oh, and by the way, check out their website, ha.com, one of the premier auction houses on the internet today. All right, so the next one that we have here is another 66. This is the one I can't really explain. I don't know how it happens, but apparently this is an obverse half of 2 coins struck together, okay, which kind of makes a little bit of sense, but this is incredible. I wouldn't even know what this would be if I came across it, but now I know what it looks like. This is a Mint State 63 Red Brown by NGC, and this one sold for $104 on Heritage, August of 2017. I'm going to have to do more research on this coin just so I could figure out how this happened, because it's crazy. This is a crazy looking error, and I'm surprised it sold for only $100. You know, I feel like that this is something that would warrant a little bit more investigation, because this is unique. You don't see this. I don't see it at all out there in the landscape of error coins. All right, so the next one we have here is a coin that was struck on a 10-cent copper nickel planchet that was intended for a Roosevelt dime. All right, so the coin is about dime sized, as you would expect. You can see some of the devices in the motto have been cut in half, and then, you know, it's really tight in certain areas. But this is an NGC Mint State 63. It weighs 2.2 grams. That's the same weight of a rosy planchet. And this one here is sold for $305.50, December 1st of 2015. Pretty nice coin, very incredible. I don't know, keep an eye out for something. These will pop up when you least expect it, and you're going to wonder, what did I just find? Okay, this is one of those coins. All right, so here's another unique coin that has an error that's more of a byproduct of the workmanship of the mint press, okay, and not so much the coin itself. So what we have here is the Lincoln cent, the 66 naturally. That was double struck in collar, but it only affected the reverse. Okay, so how does this happen? Usually when you get a double struck in collar, both the obverse and the reverse are affected in such the same way, depending on the degree of rotation. So what had happened here is the actual anvil die, which houses the design of the reverse with the Lincoln Memorial, was actually not seated properly in the mint press, and it struck the coin properly once, and then that particular die rotated a little bit, like, 90 degrees, and then it struck again, keeping in mind that the obverse was struck perfectly back to back, but the reverse is crazy looking. And that's what happens there. Okay, there's really no other logical explanation for it. But this one right here is an Annex Mint State 62 Brown, as you can see here, and this one sold for $402.50. October 2010. All right, and I haven't seen another one like it since. It's a pretty unique error in itself. All right, so the next one that we have here is one of my favorite errors. Okay, these are affectionately referred to as double denomination coins. So you have a 1966 Lincoln cent that was struck over an already produced 1966 Roosevelt dime. Okay, therefore the silvery copper nickel clad composition look to this coin. Even has the little reeds on the edge. Okay, those are the little lines that help you grip the coin. So this one right here, NGC Mint State 65, as you can see on the slab. This one sold for $632.50 back April of 2011 on Heritage Auctions. A really incredible coin. Very nice error. All right, so this one right here, I'm going to tell you guys, keep an eye out for coins with strike-throughs. Okay, some people will say, well, that thing's damaged. Someone hammered something into that coin. Maybe not, all right? So this is just living proof that something like this exists, and there are actually a number of them out there with all different types of strike-throughs where the actual fragment's retained in there. So this one, based off of the shape, you guys know that's an actual staple that's embedded into this 1966 Lincoln cent. Now this one here obviously is what they call a retained strike-through. The actual fragment or item is still embedded in the coin. But also look out for other types of strike-throughs, like a wood chip, or perhaps a wire bristle, or maybe even a string. Okay, these are also commonly found out there. Some people would mistake them as damage. But this one right here is an NGC Mint State 62, as you can see here. This one sold for $1,150, get this, in 2006. Long before the run-up in collectible coin values. Okay, this would probably be about a $3,000 coin today. All right, and then finally, we're going to save it up for the biggest one. Okay, so we're going to take some elements of a few coins that we saw previously in the error list, and we're just going to mash them all together into one really crazy, cartoony looking coin. But we have a 1966 Lincoln cent that was struck on a copper nickel clad dime planchet that is also double struck. Okay, how do you figure stuff out like this? I do not know, but this thing is absolutely just unreal. This is the most unreal, surreal coin I've ever seen, probably in the last 10 years. It's pretty incredible. But this one right here, as you can tell, there's about a 30-degree rotation between the strikes. A simply gorgeous, very visually stunning example. This one grades PCGS Mid-State 64, double struck on Clad 10C plan. Well, how much does something like this go for? Well, surprisingly, it only sold for $1,410 back September of 2016. All right, so that wraps it up for some like really nice eye candy errors. Some of them very attainable and change. Keep an eye out for some of them. Others, they're more of a pipe dream than anything else, but now you know what a specific error looks like. You just never know when you're going to come across something quite like that. I want to thank you guys for watching. Sorry to keep it so long, but this is a very interesting date of Lincoln Cent. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell for instant notifications. If you enjoy coins and coin collecting and collecting money, then Blue Ridge is the spot. All right, so I'm your host, Sean. I want to thank you guys for joining. Enjoy hunting for some of these white whales, and I will see you on the next coin hunting video. You guys take care and enjoy.